Okay, stolen cousin. You already know what time it is. Me, animated horror stories. Me, animated horror stories. Doom, 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 doom. You see where we at? We're at our good cousin. Excuse me. Y'all see where we at? We're at our good cousin, Miss Goodness, Mr. Creepy House. What are we doing? Friday the 13th. Damn, it was Friday the 13th. I could have ate y'all out. I don't think I did eat y'all out. That's neither here nor there. It's all right. I'll catch you next time. Friday the 13th, Halloween edition, horror stories animated. All right, let's get up in here. As always, please go over to Mr. Creepy's house, subscribe over there, like the videos, enjoy, and then come back. Subscribe over here, enjoy the videos over here, hit the comments, chats, all that. Let's get up in here. Please grab your blunts, grab your bottles of water, grab your bag of chips, and grab your blankets, and let's go. I like that. That was fast. Halloween.
Every year, we would gather at someone's house for a Halloween party, except for this year. Jenny wanted it to be more exciting, so she decided to throw the party at an abandoned house on the hill. We knew nothing about the place other than its location written on Jenny's invitation card. Maybe she wanted it to be mysterious. Around 9 o'clock, we gathered up on the hill. When standing in the yard, I could already feel the Halloween atmosphere abound. Me, Daisy, and Matthew approached the house excitedly. The heavy door cracked open. I could sense the gloomy vibe. We entered together. The candlelight was not enough for us to see things clearly. "Jenny, we're here," Matthew called for the party host, but no answer. "We should just go inside," Matthew said. Well, it was surprising to see Matthew so lively today. He was often the quietest guy in the group. The house had really been abandoned for a long time, so it was dusty and old and terribly cold. Following Matthew's footsteps, we reached a door. Daisy, passing the door, suddenly stopped. A red liquid dripped down on Daisy's face, so she raised her head to see what it was. Daisy yelled in horror. Both me and Matthew were startled. That must be one of Jenny's pranks. She knew how much Daisy was scared of spiders. We had to wait for Daisy to calm down before moving on. Soon enough, an old wardrobe appeared in front of our faces. There was a card that read, "Open." I was about to open it when Matthew stopped me. "What if there's something in there?" "Come on, it's fine," I said.
It's Matthew.
I screamed while a lot of feathers rose up. "Damn you, Jenny!" I didn't expect her to play such a nasty trick. At this time, I was a little annoyed by the atmosphere here. Jenny, where was that little brat? The journey continued, but we couldn't see Jenny anywhere.
"Hey, do you think it's strange?"
Daisy pulled me back and whispered. "What's strange?"
That Matthew
I
is just
asked.
chilling, going through everything.
Matthew hasn't been pranked yet.
So?
Don't you think he's more lively than usual?
Well,
And is
what she said
grinning,
was right. We
happy.
began to suspect that Matthew was also involved in this. Matthew's screams caught our attention.
care.
He slipped and fell. Holy crap! What he had slipped on was a pool of blood. From that pool of blood came a long trail and many handprints that scratched all the way to the end of the corridor. Did Jenny really
Jenny
create
at?
all these things? Should we continue? Asked Matthew.
Yeah.
Daisy said. Looks like she was still mad at Jenny about the spider. There was only one room left at the end of the hallway. We ignored the skulls and monstrous laughter on either side of the wall and moved forward together.
1, 2, 3.
We counted together and opened the door. All darkness. I cautiously turned on the power. Inside was a table decorated in Halloween style and a banner that read, "Happy Halloween."
Can't believe Jenny threw this party. But where is she?
I looked closely at the plate of finger cakes that looked so real
Oh, that's a
as I
hand.
said
Wait,
that.
flirt. That's
Hey,
a hand.
look.
Y'all better not eat nothing.
Matthew picked up a card that read,
You deserve this.
"A gift from Jenny. Maybe she wanted to make up to us after her silly pranks." So we sat down at the table.
Guys, these things look so real.
Y'all about to-
Daisy touched the brain jelly. Indeed, whoever made these things would be so cool.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Matthew had already poured the drink into 3 glasses. All 3 of us raised to toast. But as soon as I took the first sip, a fishy smell made me spit all the wine out.
Hey, this smells bad.
Whatever Jenny put into it, it was horrible. So I tried the jelly. But it was also, how to say, yuck. It felt like something raw.
I don't know.
Daisy felt the same way.
Is this for real?
Matthew checked.
Yeah, it's real, guys.
What do you mean?
What?
Yeah, it's real. How you know?
All 3 of us immediately threw up. We started to understand what was going on. The things on the table weren't cake or fruit. They were all real fingers and brains and flesh. We were so scared, we ran away from the deserted house without daring to look back. We immediately informed the police.
How do you know it's a real brain?
I don't know, it's... I suddenly hesitated. Matthew said that, not I. But how did he know?
It's been 11 days since the mysterious missing case of YouTuber Felix. The disappearance has attracted widespread police and media attention. Was he dead? Was he alive? We can do nothing rather than wait.
This story started ever since Felix was producing the video. I survived 5 days without sleep, inspired by the Rising Challenge on YouTube.
This will be viral.
He thought. Felix found an abandoned bunker as the place to take the challenge and prepared some necessities for 5 days. He planned to put the camera in the corner to record everything he did. At first, everything went smoothly. Felix felt comfortable doing anything. Eating, reading, doing exercises, talking to the camera, anything to keep him awake. After 72 hours, Felix couldn't feel more tired. His eyes were growing heavy. Sometimes he was about to fall asleep, but was startled by the alarm immediately.
You can't sleep.
A voice came from the megaphone. It was Dylan, who supported Felix in his challenge. The siren would go off whenever he closed his eyes.
Hey, I'm not okay. I want to go out for a walk.
He climbed up and pushed the bunker door, but he couldn't open it.
Dylan, open the door!
He screamed and banged on the door repeatedly.
You have to stay inside this bunker.
Dylan reminded him,
How long?
but he didn't care, because all he wanted was to get out of this hellish place. But the stupid door wouldn't open, so he came back to the room. 5 days had passed. Felix felt that his body was no longer his own. It felt like he was in a dream, and his mind wasn't sober anymore. The only thing he knew was that with only 10 hours left, this damn challenge would be over. He felt dizzy and nauseous, even vomiting when about to eat some snacks.
Hey, did you hear that?
Felix said into the microphone.
I think I could get through. I feel.
He was hearing screams of pain in this bunker, but Dylan said he heard nothing. The more he stayed awake, the more Felix felt more frustrated. He was no longer aware of anything around, and soon the bunker seemed so small like it shrunk up. Felix's brain seemed as though it were going to explode as he heard the whispers. He tried to cover his ears, but they kept growing louder and louder.
Dylan ain't good.
Shut up!
You want me to die. So you can take over your
He screamed his lungs out. There were only 10 hours left, but it felt like a century to Felix.
because you just
His
said 10
mind
hours.
went
It should be
blank.
like 5 now.
He
4.
started to walk slowly around the bunker and mutter something inaudible. His nerves went numb. He couldn't even remember why he was stuck in here.
I'm so sleepy,
He said to the camera wearily. A voice echoed through the air.
Did you hear that, Dylan?
Felix spoke into the mic, but he got no response.
Dylan?
Felix called impatiently, but no one heard him. Felix was in a panic. He rushed to the stairs to find the way out. But he was exhausted. All his efforts were in vain.
Where are you going, Felix? Where are you going? Where are you going?
The voice spoke again, startling Felix.
He should have let you
He
out.
saw a thin arm poking out from under
alive?
the bed. What the? Felix was so confused. He walked over and looked under the bed, but there was nothing. He shook his head a few times to wake himself up, but the sleepiness made him miserable. He wanted to lie on the bed and have a good sleep.
Sleep!
A high-pitched scream woke him up.
Ghost!
He was horrified to see the faces squirming all over the wall right in front of him.
Go to sleep!
They screamed as if they wanted to jump out. Felix sat shivering in a corner and closed his eyes.
Go away! Go away!
He screamed madly. When he raised his head, the faces were gone. But instead, a bunch of people suddenly appeared around. In the corners, he saw someone's feet, smiling faces, and arms sticking out of the darkness, reaching out to him
Where the
as
hell
if
is
to
Dylan
drag
at?
him down. They waited for him to blink, and then they would immediately eat his flesh.
No! No! I cannot sleep! I'm not allowed to sleep! No!
He mumbled
no.
and kept scratching himself to keep
No,
from falling
no.
asleep. They would still be here, surrounding him and lurking him to sleep. But he knew the consequences, so he must stay awake.
Dylan, help me! Help me!
He screamed in vain, trying to run away from the ghosts, but they surrounded him more and more.
There's a person down here.
A policeman's voice rang out.
We found him. The missing YouTuber.
Where the hell
Felix
was
was
Dylan?
saved from the dark pit in a state of exhausted health. The truth was gradually revealed. From the beginning, there was no Dr. Dylan. Felix went down to the bunker by himself and took the challenge alone. On the 4th day, he had been imagining everything, including Dr. Dylan and the ghosts. And actually, he went 11 days without sleep. Felix kept screaming in agony.
No! No! I swear! I swear!
Felix. Things some people do.
As a driver for DoorDash, I loved my job so much that I never refused a single order from a customer. One day, I received a food delivery request to a hill house that had no neighborhood around.
No, thank you.
It seems kinda private.
I thought. After a while, there was a voice from inside.
Hi, I'm Noah. Could you bring the food to the dining room for me? It's the last room from the entrance.
No,
He had
thank
hardly
you.
finished his
That's
order
not my
when
job.
the gate opened automatically. I walked in with the food in hand,
The
and as
job's
soon as I
delivered right
stepped
up to your
in,
door.
I was extremely impressed by the unique decoration style of the house. I kept the same expression until I got to the dining room. But there was something here that really puzzled me. Her face was covered with long black hair. Her skin was pale and oily. Oh my God, she looked like a wax statue. I panicked and dropped the package. Then I tried to get there to help her stand up, but a loud, grumpy shout prevented me.
Don't touch me, wife!
I immediately turned back. In front of me was an old man in a wheelchair. He quickly approached the woman, looking at her worriedly. "Are you all right?" He struggled to pick up the woman to sit on a chair.
I shouldn't have left you here alone.
He kissed her on the cheek and gently fixed her hair. Then he turned back to me.
My apology for being rude. My name is Noah, and this is my wife, Jennifer. She doesn't like strangers touching her.
Noah explained while holding his wife's hand and smiling politely. This was weird because Jennifer was clearly a wax figure. I gave a forced smile, put the food on the table, took the money, and then quickly left the house. But when I was passing the hallway, I had a creepy feeling as if there were eyes staring at me.
Because there is.
Since then, that old man Noah ordered things at DoorDash very often, and most of the time I was the one to deliver them. I found that okay because I lived nearby, and his tip was quite a lot. Every time I arrived, I would sneak a peek at Jennifer, who was usually placed in the living room or kitchen. Her eyes were always lifeless, and it really freaked me out all the time.
My wife will be going far away, so I just want to have more quality time with her,
Noah said unconsciously. That night, I received the order from that man again. This area was normally overcast, and it was even scarier when the power went out. As usual, I brought the package to the dining room. The house was very quiet. The whole hallway was covered with dim candlelight. The pictures on both sides of the wall that used to look so gorgeous were now so spooky. Sitting at the table was no longer Jennifer, but another white wax figure in a DoorDash uniform. I was so terrified that I dropped the car key. The flickering light from the candle wasn't shining enough, so it took me some time to find the key. While I was doing that, I suddenly felt someone sniffing my hair from behind. I was startled. Noah was right behind me. He gave me a monstrous grin, raised the candle holder, and smacked me on the head. He moved towards me with his mouth wide open.
Me wife has to go. Don't you want to say goodbye?
I stepped back in fear, accidentally bumping into the table and knocking over the candle. The fire flared up. Noah freaked out and moved his wheelchair to the wax statue that was starting to melt under the candle's heat.
No!
I took that chance to run away.
How dare you!
He gave me an angry glance. He grabbed my arm so hard, which scared me even more. I struggled and shoved him down. When I was hit hard against the wall, the pictures also fell to the ground. Flames from the candle set fire to the carpets, which burned fiercely. The fallen statues shattered into pieces. The wax skin melted, revealing the human flesh and blood inside of the statue. Some parts were fresh, some had turned black. The portraits on the wall were also melted. Inside were all human skulls, mixed with flesh and blood. I frantically ran away from the haunted house. My body was seriously damaged by the flames, but all I cared about was escaping from that horrible scene. I got into the car and drove away. The house was soon engulfed in flames. When I looked back, I still saw Noah standing by the window, looking at me with hatred. The half-burned Jennifer was still in his hands.
Let him go.
Police quickly sealed off the entire area. They found many, many corpses in the house and the basement. All were burned so completely that it was difficult to identify which one was Noah. I told myself he must have died in that fire. But sometimes when I accidentally looked into a window somewhere, his hateful eyes would reappear, staring at me.
Emergency! Emergency! Object number 1007 has escaped. Immediately start a search. I repeat, object number 1007.
This year's winter was coming early, and it seemed to be more severe than previous years, and I decided to go on a trip alone to see how far I could survive. Unexpectedly, on my way, there was an avalanche incident that blocked the road. Frustrated and confused, I checked the map and found another path which was longer. The snow was quite heavy, so even though I drove continuously, it was already dark when I reached the campsite. And even though I could hardly see any campfires, there were some other solo campers not so far from where I stood. It was late, so I decided to go to sleep so that I could leave early tomorrow. The sound of footsteps outside startled me awake. Ugh, so noisy. What the hell is happening out there? I was too exhausted and sleepy to care, so I just opened the tent a little and looked outside to see if I could hear anything. But there was only darkness. Maybe it's just other campers, I told myself and went back to sleep. What? I couldn't help but panic to learn that my luggage had been ransacked and all the canned goods had disappeared. There were traces of intruders left in the snow, and I followed them. Thanks to that, I discovered unusually large footprints in the snow. These footprints were twice as big as mine, naked with blood stains. Oh my God! I recalled the legend of Bigfoot I often heard. It was about a large, hairy creature that can walk like a human. Could these footsteps be of Bigfoot? I looked in the direction the sound was coming from and started to follow the trace. After walking a while, I saw one of my cans on the ground, deformed and covered in dirt. Suddenly, I heard something behind the cliff. I was startled to see someone eating and devouring my canned food. That was a bulging back with scary hairs and lumps. I was shocked for a few seconds. What kind of creature was that? I swallowed hard, daring not to move. Bigfoot was described as a fierce and scary creature, so I would be in danger if it found me. So I slowly stepped back and was about to run away, but suddenly stepped on a tree branch on the ground. And that thing heard it. My God! It threw me a bloodshot gaze. Now I could see it clearly. It had a human body with abnormally large legs and a big head with very weird lumps. Its eyes were fierce as it looked at me. Its mouth was drooling. My brain was totally paralyzed. There was only one thought popping out. I had to run. But the snow was so thick that it was quite difficult to move.
Then you don't want to
The
run.
quicker I ran, the quicker it chased. It was coming very close. I was so scared. I tripped and rolled down the slope uncontrollably. My head almost hit some shards of ice. Seeing the cold shard of ice just inches away from my eyes made me even more scared. That thing was still very close behind. I could do nothing more than run. I still tried to run as fast as I could while the creature was still following. I tried to run uphill despite the snow and cold wind. Not far from where I was, I saw a building. Yes, I was safe now. But before I could run towards the building, it quickly caught my leg and dragged me down the hill.
Let go of me! Let go of me!
I screamed in fear and kicked hard, but Bigfoot still tried to pull me away.
No! Let go of me!
I managed to find a branch and hit it hard enough to make it let go. I couldn't die like this.
No! No! No!
Bigfoot tried to say something which startled me. I leaned against the rock in fear, and with a tree branch in my hand, I tried to scare it away. Bigfoot didn't dare come near me, but his hand waved oddly like it wanted to say something to me, but couldn't say it in full. While I was still bewildered, a red spot appeared on Bigfoot, and I was so shocked that I could only look at it and couldn't do anything. When it fell down, I saw a bunch of people in protective gear come.
We have found object number 1007. I repeat, we have found object number 1007.
For a moment, I saw its mouth moving. At that time, I was too scared. After calming down, I snuck back to the campsite, officially putting an end to the scary journey.
You went over there, got him turned back in, and then just upped and left.
A few months later, while surfing the web, I discovered an article about a mysterious laboratory specializing in terrible experiments on the human body. And when I saw a sneak photo of that laboratory, it was like a hit on my brain.
Stupid. He's so damn dumb.
The streets are full of scenes like this, though the cause of the pandemic is undefined. The victim seems to transform after being bitten. While the treatment is being made, please stay home and wait for rescue.
Oh my god, it's coming! It's coming!
I'm a top student of a famous medical school. I spent most of the time studying with Mr. Drake at a lab. It's a classified project about inventing a new virus that increases human strength and speed. Half a month ago, We almost solved this complicated math problem after 7 years of studying. There it is, this virus that can change the whole humankind. We burst into happiness,
It looked like him.
but then
That was on the
Mr.
news.
Drake and I had another problem. We needed volunteers. Since this was illegal, my teacher paid homeless people to join the experiment.
Oh,
Whatever might happen to them, nobody would care. That's what he thought. Well, speed and strength are increased, but the brain activity is significantly damaged. They're ferocious and can't remember their names. I reported this to Mr. Drake after prototype analysis. He contemplated for a minute and said, "We've got to cancel the project to find the cure." Do you mean all our effort is for nothing? Despite my worries, Mr. Drake did it anyway. In the next 2 weeks, he locked himself in the lab, and when he came back, he had a formula for the cure. We pumped it into those homeless in different concentrations, then observed. However, things didn't follow the plan. Their illness got so worse that they escaped from the lab, except for
How?
a man named Eric. No, that can't be! It's supposed to work! My teacher screamed in pain when Eric, the half-human, half-zombie creature riding on the floor. That's it. Our last experiment failed. At that moment, a zombie outside seemed to scent me and Mr. Drake. He slammed into the door and wheezed. Its drooling was so disgusting. I was wide awake, sputtering hurriedly. We must end Eric's life. Release him! Meanwhile, my teacher was too upset to care about anything. I freaked out. I held a sharpened table leg nearby and slowly came to Eric. He seemed to scent danger and get more and more violent. His disfigured face, bloody eyes, and sharp teeth wanted to tear me apart. The table where Drake tied Eric was shaking like it was about to burst. The rope could not hold him for longer, so I needed to hurry. Suddenly, Eric bowed down and did something weird to his arm.
What did he do? He bit his arm off?
Eric? Did the cure work? No, it can't be. Eric, he was biting his arm. The skin and the arm started tearing apart. Pieces of muscle and flesh splattered everywhere. Suddenly, his arm fell down to the floor, and he rushed to me. Under a sudden attack, I could only raise my arms to prevent Eric from attacking. His stinky breath and wheezing breath were so close, just some inches away from my face. I tried to push him, but it didn't work. After the transformation, he had reached the level of strength and speed that humans could not reach. He was closer and closer, and I closed my eyes, nearly giving up. Suddenly, Eric fell down. Mr. Drake gave Eric a shot right to his head.
I don't understand why you was trying to
His
kill him
brain
again.
splattered.
Jake, anyway.
His fluid splashed all over my face, and I could even smell it. I pushed Eric aside, got rid of the blood, and stood up. My teacher stood dazedly in the corner. Are you okay? If it
No.
were not for him, I would probably end up like zombies. The thick layer of blood stuck to my skin and made it very difficult for me to get rid of it. Thank you, I'm okay. Just as I finished my words, I noticed a small bite on my left arm. My heart jumped. Oh no, Eric bit me while we were fighting? Drake seemed to know what was happening because I saw the changes on his face. No, that can't be. I can't be infected. But then my body went cold. My blood was boiling, and I could feel pain all over my body.
Shoot him.
I saw Mr. Drake step closer. Closer. He tried so hard while slowly aiming at me. I'm so sorry. You don't deserve all of this. No, please don't. I want to live.
Careful, we're getting close. He had a gun the whole time.
The authorities have taken things under control. As reported, the cause of the pandemic is from the lab of X University. However, when the defense team came, there was no life found.
Now he shot the both of them. That one might be my favorite. That one might be my favorite. The what happens when you don't sleep was good, because why would you not sleep for all that damn time? Sleep is so good. Wake up refreshed. That man just was pushing sleep off. For what? And then what? I feel like when you're running from things, and then they're like, hey, I'm not even trying to kill you. I'm trying to help you. Because in reality, that's solo camping. Old Buddy was trying to prevent him from going over there so they don't get him. He's like, you go over there, they're going to turn you into an experiment just like they got me. And then they got him. And you gonna hide over in the corner? You ain't even gonna come out? Man, listen. Crazy. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know which one was your favorite down below. And until next time, I love y'all. Bye.